Yes, 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 yes. Welcome to the Top 4 podcast. My name is Oscar. As you can see, I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm very, very, very happy right now. And I'm joined by AD, Adrian, Liverpool fan. What are you saying?
Five time, getting pipes on the onion 5 times in a row, man. Never
Oh
seen it
my
before. It's
goodness.
never happened in the history of the club before. This is unprecedented, bro. It's mad. I,
It's
I don't even I don't even know what to do right
I never expected it. I never expected it, man. Even
now.
with the form that you guys have been on, I don't know. I just thought Liverpool were gonna come out and do something in this game. I don't know why. I thought they were gonna return. Shout out to Peter in the comments. He's already here, just laughing. Peter, I'm buzzing, bro. I'm absolutely buzzing. Ah, Let me just talk about the game quickly. Just run it down. So the game kicks off. A lot of Chelsea fans were unsure about the lineup. You know, we didn't see Giroud. We saw Hakim Ziyech start after a horrible game against Man United. He hasn't really hit the ground running this year. But for the way we started, the way we attacked and pressed, you could see there was a clear game plan. In that first half, the ball over the top to Werner, we saw that Liverpool got the high line thing. They're going to sit on the halfway line. Werner's got to run in behind. And every single time on the podcast, I've always been saying, Werner is not the issue. The issue is Werner makes runs and people don't find him. This was the only game where Chelsea have made it a clear game plan to play Werner in. Like we never did it. So the fact that we did it in the first half and we caused so many problems for Liverpool in that first half with Werner running in behind, Ziyech running in behind, and then when he scores that goal and it's disallowed, oh, my heart was broken. Like when Timo scored, yeah, I tweeted Timo with bare blue hearts. Now, normally I'm one of the most level-headed people when it comes to football. I always wait to see if it's offside. Always. But this time I was like, I don't care. It's Timo Werner. I was gassed. But yeah, disallowed. So how are you thinking with how the game started and how Liverpool approached like the first half an hour? What was it saying?
I think first half of the first half, if you will. I thought we were decent, and then I feel like, as you said, I think Chelsea and I think a few teams have done it this season. I think Villa did it to great aplomb this season. It's clear what Liverpool are going to do. Liverpool are going to play a high defensive line, despite not having the pace to do so. So what you're going to do is if you play that long, and by long ball, I don't necessarily mean the sort of hitting the ball, but if you actually sort of playing it in particular areas, playing it where Werner can actually run onto it, you're going to get great effects. And time again, Chelsea were sort of making great headway from it. It's peak, man.
Well, what about Liverpool's sort of attacking approach into the game? Because it was very it was very uninspiring, man. You guys going forward, I mean, I just feel like the defenders that we have at the back, Aspilicueta, you can force a mistake out of him. Christensen has not been good for Chelsea since before Tuchel came in. And Rudiger, of course, again, even under Tuchel, there's a mistake in there. And I don't feel like there was enough pressure put on from Firmino, Salah, and Mane.
Yeah, and but I think you see how people say you press from the front. I genuinely believe that Liverpool's press used to start from Virgil van Dijk, and I just feel that when Mane, Firmino, Salah are when it impacts the game in the final third, it's just not got the same impact. It's not got the same velocity. I deeped it in the Man City game when I sort of compared the Man City game to the year previous to the Man City game we saw this year, and it's night and day, bro. And I think we're in a position now where the intensity is gone. The fullbacks aren't able to overlap like they used to do.
Trust.
And I think now. What now is like if you play sort of a settled back line, we haven't got the individual brilliance. We haven't got the play at the moment anyway on current form. We haven't got the players who can pick up a ball, beat a man, and pull something out of the top bin. I'll give you an example. I think let's fast forward a couple of years ago when we beat you lot, at Anfield, where Salah, words, and where Salah, he was getting like the terrorist stick from the Chelsea fans. Literally picks up the ball, slaps at top bins. And I think we've just been missing that. We've been missing the fundamentals of actually playing good football, and B, I think we're also missing the ability to make magic out of nothing, really. So yeah, so your likes of your Rudiger, he was quite physically good. Yeah, he's comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, Iklas Elmi just put a comment there saying, big up Uncle Rudy. He again did his job solid. He was harassing Liverpool players. He seems like he's a player that's really hard to play against. Like, he's physical. He's not going to give you an easy game. And I feel like I thought Salah would have the better of him. I believe we played you last year in the 5-3 game. And we played a similar back five, and you guys were very, very deadly in that game. So I just thought in my mind it's going to replicate itself. Iklas Elmi said, Oscar, we did it. I am so bro. I feel your energy. I can't believe we've won at Anfield. I think it's the first time we've won there since 2014-15. Am I right in saying that? I feel like when we won the league that year under Mourinho, we won there. But
yeah, I think they said in commentary, like, yeah, you beat us sort of 2-1. The goal scorers were Cahill and Costa. That just shows you how long ago it was. I think it was 2014, 2015, one of those years.
Yeah, Lucky saying 2014. Iklas is saying 2014-15, Diego Costa. Yeah, man, it's been mad. But there's a lot of comments on Liverpool's style of play, so I want to read those out and then have your opinion on them, AD. Footy Agendas goes, I've seen enough games. I know FSG are not selling, so they better sack Klopp because he is not changing the tactics or the system. Injuries are part of the problem, but tactics prevail. Yeah, before you answer that, I'll read a couple more. Lucky says, Liverpool team is unbalanced now, or maybe teams know how to play them. They have been playing the same for 3 years now. It's just, yeah, it's all negatives, all negative on Liverpool. Footy Agenda said, can we talk about how Mane has changed his entire game from a classical winger who dribbles and runs at bylines to an inside forward poacher so he can get some of that Salah shine? Speaking of Mo Salah shine, we do have to talk about it because as Ernest wants us to discuss, Salah got taken off 30 minutes to spare. Discuss. Now, as poor as Salah has been this season, I was still very, very happy to see him come off because he's a threat. And you feel like if a chance does fall, you don't want that chance fall into Firmino. The form that Mane is on, you don't want it fall into him. You do want that chance falling to Mo Salah. So what were your thoughts when 60 minutes, it's not even like 80 or you know, last 5, it's 60 minutes. He's taken off Mo Salah. What was going through your head at that moment?
I think for me, it was bizarre on many different levels. I think first of all, if I weigh up Salah's performance against Mane and Firmino, it was clearly the best forward on the pitch. And then secondly, to do it on the 60th minute, it was almost like Klopp wanted to make a statement. He wanted to prove a point. What point it was, that will remain to be seen. But it was ridiculous like that. Like, I remember there's a ball, there's a couple of nice little balls. I remember there's one ball you played into Mane, first touch horrendous. Like it's one of those ones where he sort of takes it first time, absolutely horrendous, misses the ball. There's another time where he almost played in Curtis Jones, but he couldn't quite sort out his feet. And Firmino, for me, you're for nothing in an attacking sense. He actually gave away the ball for Chelsea's goal. So I don't know what to make of that. I think it's bizarre. I think it's weird. And I don't want to be conspiracy theory. Don't want to sort of give you a conspiracy theory here, but maybe there's more to read into that because it seemed like Klopp wanted to prove a point. At what point he was proving, only God knows.
You think so? You think it was like that? Rah. Well, I guess it had to be because there was no sign of an injury. So, you know, obviously Jota coming back into the side, you do want to give him some time to get into the game. But yeah, I just never thought Salah was the one to make way for him. But you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah, because bro, deep it, he's your best player, certainly this season. He's not only your highest goal scorer, he's the highest goal scorer in the league. You're 1-0 down. Why on earth would you take him off? Like, I genuinely, like, normally I like to rationalize it. There's no conceivable reason here, really, for me.
None. Well, okay, we got another comment from Iklas Elmi. He says, Spurs, Atletico, Man United, Liverpool, 3 wins, 1 draw, 4 clean sheets. I'm loving this team right now. So moving over to Chelsea just a little bit. I have to say, like, guys in the comments, Lucky, Iklas, let me know if I'm wrong. But I feel like this is Chelsea's best performance of the season. I feel like we were excellent. Peter says full credit to Tuchel for changing the team's belief and assertiveness. We went in with a game plan, man. One thing I like about Tuchel is that he's organized, bro. Like, he's going into games and you can see what he's trying to do. And you know that every player has got a mission on the pitch. They know their brief and you've been detailed to do this, and this. And if they're not doing that, he's going to scream from the touchline and you're going to hear him from your TV. Like, in that second half, you could hear him screaming at Mason Mount, like, get tighter, like, don't fall asleep, this and that. And speaking of Mason Mount, bruv, the boy pulled out a performance today, which... It's just exactly raw. Boss Endo said, by far our best performance, I'd say Burnley. Now, Boss Endo is a Chelsea fan, apparently. Man jumped shit from the Liverpool team.
He's just anti Liverpool at the moment. So sort of hitting back on the point, I think you sort of said that Tuchel's perhaps found the blueprint. What for you would you say? Do you think this is your best 11? Because I know, like, it's sort of chopped and changed a couple of positions. Sort of the left back thing has been a bit sort of up in the air. You know, who's actually going to be a main striker moving forwards, and the little things like, you know, Kovacic, Jorginho, like, yeah. So I don't know. Where do you stand on that? Do you think he's still finding his feet?
I think he is still finding his feet. I wouldn't say this is our best 11. What I liked about this is just because he had an idea. He said, look, Liverpool are going to play that high line. We're going to ping the ball over the top to Werner. Ziyech can also make those runs as well. He attacked the game, not necessarily our best team. You know, who knows? I think our best team obviously features Hudson-Odoi. Maybe it also features a striker in Giroud. But for this game, he attacked it the right way. If we play this way at home against Everton on Monday, we might not win the game because Everton are going to sit deep. So I wouldn't say it's a matter of Chelsea's best team or worst team or whatever like that, but it was the right approach. Like, he came into this game not trying to get a draw. He came in this game trying to win, but defensively solid. And I got to give credit where it's due. Peter Majuzzi is just in the comments talking about Mason, the Prince of the King's Road, he says. Now, Mace scored a flipping banger of a goal. And one of the issues that Chelsea fans have with Mace is his final ball in the final third. You know, he doesn't score enough of those goals. We know he's got the talent to do it. At Derby, he scored goals. In the first couple months of his time at Chelsea under Lampard, he was scoring goals last season. Like, by September, he already had 5 league goals. This season, we're now in February. He doesn't yet have 5 league goals. Do you know what I mean? So we want more from Mason. So when he pulled out that goal today, what a finish. Goal of the midweek, I'm going to call it. Goal of the midweek. What are you saying?
Yeah, and so obviously we were playing like Mason Mount. I think you hit the nail on the head, because I think, you know, he's going to give you the industry. He's going to make the intelligent runs. He's going to use his athleticism. But ultimately, I think if you're playing in that role he's playing at, it's not going to be Kante. It's not going to be Jorginho. It's not going to be Kovacic. Who's going to step up in the big games, in the big moments, and deliver? Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about delivering. I want to talk about somebody who delivered, but just for now, I want to get everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for the comments. Keep the comments coming. We're still going to be talking Chelsea, Liverpool, but do me a favor. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the red button down below. We do podcasts every single Monday and midweek content just like this. So yeah, more of that's going to be coming your way. But you mentioned somebody delivering, and I want to talk about Andreas Christensen. He was awarded man of the match, and I think he was excellent. He mopped up everything he had to do. Iklas Elmi says Christensen has been so good, man. I'd say keep him, even if Thiago comes back. I don't know about that. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. I thought I did something, you know. I saw the screen move. I said, yo. I don't know about Christensen and Thiago, because Thiago Silva has been, in my opinion, one of the best centre backs in the league. Like, if you're doing team of the year so far, I think you got Ruben Diaz and Thiago Silva. I think that's how good Silva's been. But Christensen has performed well in that back three, in the middle of the three. So if I wouldn't want to move Christensen to the right or to the left to accommodate Thiago Silva. I would much rather just Thiago Silva come in and normal service is resumed. Peter said that comment just spun AD.
The defeat, the comment, bro.
Yeah,
I'm in Neverland right now, man.
Like I said, I felt like Christensen was a deserved man of the match. Who would have you given man of the match to? Would you say Christensen or someone else?
I think definitely either of your, well, I say either of, but definitely one of Christensen or Rudiger, your two centre halves. I think they were good. I think ultimately, I think Mount, aside from his goal, the kid was everywhere. He was pressing, he was harrying, he worked his socks off.
Yeah.
I think he scored, but and by the way, my thoughts on splitting pubic hairs, but I think Werner had a very, very credible performance as well. And for me, it's easy, and I'm sure it reminded them, being at home, the fact that he had acres of land to run into, but. Hopefully he can gain some confidence, because his head seemed to drop when the goal was taken away from him, but I think he snapped out of it after a couple of minutes, and
I think it was good for him because Mount scored so soon after. It was like Chelsea were 1-up, and it felt like his hard work was not for nothing. He's been playing well, and Chelsea are winning. So, but confidence is such a big thing for Werner. It's been his stickler in his mind this season. When he's confident, he looks like a world beater. When he's not, he's one of the worst players on the pitch. So for him to get that goal, and I don't know, how did you feel about it? Because obviously I felt like it was onside. They should have just gave it onside. But then the first thing I thought of was you guys at Goodison Park, last minute winner, Mane scores, and it's literally that level of split decision.
Bro, guess what? I thought that was onside as well. I think it's ridiculous, bro. Come on.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Like Gary Lineker tweeted, and he said, nowadays level is offside. Like if you're level, how on earth? Martin Tyler actually said at one point it was Werner's bicep that was what played him off. I said, you can't score with your bicep. You can't do that. You can't bicep curl the ball in. So. Crazy to me, absolutely crazy. And once again, you can't I see so many people on my timeline just VAR, this is why I don't like VAR, this is why I don't like VAR. Bro, it's the human beings, man. It's the human beings implementing the rule. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to take because as a football purist, you want to see those goals given, man. You want to see those goals given. Pro Gray said, discussing the offside rule at the moment is an absolute mare.
Absolute shambles, mate. Because and the thing is, funnily enough, it included Chelsea. But for me, when Cardiff went down a couple of years ago, I said this to myself and I said, you know what? Teams can't get punished. Teams can't lose their bro. Man, lost their livelihoods. Do you think man like Callum Patterson are coming back to the Prem again? No, it's life changing.
Oh my god!
These are very, very real decisions. So for me, I was like, no, you know what? We need VAR because the atrocities that happened in that game can't be repeated. And it's like they've just gone totalitarian, and it's like every minuscule thing they want to critique. But I think for me, the overall overwhelming reason why VAR was wanted was because of the standard of refereeing is diabolical. The standard hasn't changed. They're just better at picking up offsides now, because obviously I think that another madness happened in Fulham. They could go down by a couple of points this year. You know what I mean? Because
before it was referees just looking with their eyes and making the wrong decision. Now they have VAR, so the haram is in HD. They're looking at the screen and they still make the wrong decisions, bro. It's a mad thing. Speaking of wrong decisions, Peter on poll said, even handballs are a mare, #Fulham. So in the Fulham game, there was a very, very harsh handball, which disallowed a Fulham goal. In this game, there was a handball in which, I think it's Firmino that goes to cross the ball. He knocks it in. Kante blocks it with his hand. His hand is literally where my hand is now, literally here. And the referee gives no penalty. What did you think about that? That was at 1-0. That was just beginning of the second half. If Liverpool are given a penalty there, it's a very different game. What did you think? Do you think that should have been a pen?
Obviously, I think common sense prevailed there. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think it's one of those do reason why I don't know that. For me, does he move? Does it make a movement towards the ball? Does it stop Liverpool from getting any advantage? We had no one in the box anyway. It was quite a hopeless cross. I don't know. Basically, I'm not sure if it's maybe because of the poor performance, but I'm not sort of looking at that and thinking to myself, we got screwed there. If I'm being honest,
Fam,
I think what?
If that, all I'm saying is, if that happened to my team, I would be fuming. I would be absolutely fuming. How can I cross a ball and you've blocked my cross with your hand in an unnatural position? Now, like I mentioned earlier, the
thing is, I think that's a natural position. If I'm being honest,
he's blocked a cross. Like it's not. It shouldn't be a yellow card. It's got to be a penalty. I'm sorry if that happened to me. Like if I was watching Chelsea and we cross a ball and the hand goes up, I'm screaming penalty. I don't feel like it's necessarily like, oh, Kante has done something wrong, but you've stopped my goal scoring chance. Like you stopped me from creating a chance. So
I think that's the way I'm looking at it, because I'm looking at N'Golo Kante, and N'Golo Kante is genuinely going to block the ball naturally in that motion of going to block the ball. His hands gone out. Like it's like the Fulham thing. Like, what do you want the Fulham player to do? Like, he can't disappear.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess that's why they didn't do it, because Firmino and Mane were so close together. So that's why they didn't give a handball. And it's crazy that in the Fulham game they were so close together, but the handball was given. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Let me get back into some of these comments. Before let's go to some Liverpool ones and then we'll come back to Chelsea. Footy Agenda said, I kept hearing, what does Salah do if he doesn't score? The better question is, who scores if Salah doesn't? B Arsenal Gunnar, in regards to the handball, says, I think they're too close to each other. The cross was way too close to Kante, so he's basically saying you can't judge him on that. I don't know, man. I think if it was given, I wouldn't be on here complaining that it was given. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say if it was given, I wouldn't feel guilty. Yeah. It's one of those ones. Yeah.
It's definitely one of those. Boss That Endo said, Oscar, you looking like a Jamaican uncle from Brixton with a do-rag. I don't normally wear the do-rag on screen or outside, but you know, today I thought, why not? Yeah, exactly. It's at 10:30 at night. You're seeing the real. This ain't no overproduced content. We don't have makeup artists. We don't have none of that. This is real deal.
Past the watershed of that. Yeah.
Okay. Pro Gray said Fab needs to be in CM and let two natural centre backs play. Now, this has been an issue for Liverpool throughout the season. The injuries to Van Dijk, the injuries to Gomez, Matip have forced you lot to play midfielders at centre back. But they are your best midfielders, Henderson and Fabinho. So it weakens your central midfield. Today you went with Wijnaldum, Curtis Jones, and Thiago. How do you think that? Like, how do you think that is? How do you think Klopp's working of that was, basically? Footy Agenda said, is AD warming to Klopp out, given tactical incompetence? So yeah, what do you think about that?
So I think I start off with the Klopp. I'm not warming to the Klopp out, definitely not. But we do need to ask him questions about his sins. He does need to be taken to court, because for me, I thought Diego Jota, I thought he just picked up a knock in training. I found out today that he was injured in the Michelin game, and I spoke about that Michelin game at the time, and I said you can't come on TV and blame BT for 12:30 kickoffs, but then you're playing Salah for 95 minutes in a game, or you're playing Jota in a pointless game, and he's injured for 3 months. So let's be real. Like, Klopp hasn't managed his team in the best possible way this season, and going on to the midfield thing, I think for me, if you play, how can I put it? So obviously Van Dijk's injured, isn't it? If you play Kabak and Phillips or whoever it may be, your defense is slightly weaker, but you still got a solid midfield. If you drop Fabinho back into midfield, you've got a slightly better defense, but you've got a weaker midfield. So ultimately, what are you really doing here? You might as well just have the stronger midfields and control games that way, because now you're in a halfway house where I've got a meaty defense and I've got a medium midfield.
Exactly.
I think Fabinho in the 6 is better, and I think we're going back months here, but Thiago's best game for Liverpool probably was in the Everton game. And is there any coincidence that next to him in midfield was Fabinho and Jordan Henderson?
Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah. Pro Gray says Paul's back line is so stinky. You might as well let the young boys play and have a solid midfield.
Could have conceded anyway.
In regards to the Klopp out shouts, beat Arsenal Guna says drive Klopp straight to the Emirates. I think that's what he was talking about. Boss Like Endo said Klopp is becoming the German Rodgers. In regards to Thiago, Footy Agenda says buy into Liverpool is an L. That knows no limit. Right, people are really like talking about the demise of Liverpool. Lucky saying that end of Liverpool dominance. Peter is saying that no crowd is a big factor. Yeah, but where next for Liverpool? Like, where next now? Because I think Boss Like Endo has suggested earlier. He said one of the front three must be sold in the summer. We look toothless. Is that the main area for Liverpool? Is it the front three that's the problem? Because of Salah is still your top goal scorer.
I've actually said that prior. You can check the receipts. I'm not capping, but it's not necessarily because I expected a drop off to be this bad, but it's just more so the case of they're all at the same age, so it's going to get to a point where they all decline at the same time, more or less. So what you'd rather do is get rid of one of them, bring in like a Sancho or a Haaland, and then regenerate. So it's just football cycles, isn't it? So I think that's a sensible shout. One of them has to go. But realistically, obviously, of the three of them, you get rid of Firmino. You touch the Firmino of a barge pole unless he goes to China. Like, see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's one thing.
Do you believe in Jurgen Klopp's ability to turn this around?
Absolutely. Of course I do. He's brought me. And I'm quite surprised that this is a conversation purely because he hasn't managed it well. He hasn't. But if you go to 04 or 05 Jose Mourinho, you take out Terry, you take out Carvalho, and then you ask Makelele and Lampard or whoever was your other midfielder play centre half, the drop off is going to be mad. If you do that to any of Fergie's great teams, if you do that to any of Pep's great teams, there's going to be
similar to what Pro Grey was saying. Do those managers do that? Do those managers move their best midfielders into centre back? Do those managers have this drop off with the squad that you have and the league, the quality of the league that we're in? Because let's face it, it's a one-team league. Man City have run away with it, and it should be City and Liverpool like it has been the past few seasons. But yeah, I don't know. Peter on Pole says they will be back. Liverpool will challenge City next season, no doubt. If anything, missed opportunities for others not to fight for the title. Lucky also says no chance for your Haaland shout. We need Haaland, Lucky. Bring Haaland to Stamford Bridge if possible. Keep your comments coming, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Boss Like Endo says, let's keep it a buck. If we were PSG, Barca, Real Madrid, Bayern, Chelsea, or City, Klopp would be gone. Because we ain't won much in recent years, he's got a lifetime contract because he won the league. He brought the winning back to Anfield. He restored it. Jurgen Klopp's tactics are dross. How do you get Thiago to play like Milner? Firmino cannot be starting ahead of Origi. He's that bad, especially if he keeps on progressing. I don't think I need to ask you this question, Adrian, but should Origi be starting for Liverpool?
You know what? It's not necessarily a case of Origi starting, but I think Firmino needs some time out just to contemplate, because it's like, and for me, that's the beauty of having Diogo Jota, and that's why I was so disappointed when he went down, because there's no deterrent for crap performances. Firmino's been crap. Mane's been crap for months on end, and they can afford to be so because Shaqiri is not going to take his place. Origi is not going to take your place. Minamino never was ever going to take your place. So I saw funny things. I saw Minamino playing in a false nine in pre-season. It was never going to happen in real life. So I think a lot of it is due to complacency. So yeah, I mean, not necessarily because Origi's any good, but it's something else. Who knows?
He's not laughing at you.
But Origi's crap, you know? Origi's awful.
All right, cool. Can we stop this notion of City and Liverpool challenging for the league for the last few years? It's been one season only. City have won it 3 of the last 4 titles, including this season. I mean, that's them 2 challenging for the title when it was 97, 98 points. You can't say it wasn't that. And, you know, they are still the best, one of the best squads in the league. You know, I can't see Man United or Chelsea or any of these other teams pushing Liverpool. Like, if Liverpool had their first team next season, they're going to compete again, in my opinion. That's just how I see it. 100% fullbacks keep crossing. Firmino's never gotten the end of Origi might nick one. Well, Origi started against Burnley, missed a sitter, and I don't think he started in the league since. So
unforgivable.
But then again, Firmino has missed bare chances. I just want to go back to some Chelsea comments because obviously it feels like we're quite down now because we're talking about how bad Liverpool are, but I am absolutely buzzing. Lucky Asaro said, Kante was good today, but he loses the ball too much. He doesn't know what to do with the ball sometimes. This is true, but I feel like this isn't new of Kante. I feel like Kante has always been like this. He's never been the most technically profound on the ball. He's always been a destroyer and a mover and all of that. But then he often gets the 1 or 2 passes. So that the goal that Mason Mount scored was a wonderful ball from Kante, like piercing over the centre backs, and Mount was through on goal. So I was talking about this on Twitter today. Like I feel like there is this premonition, this idea that people really want to talk about the downfall of N'Golo Kante, and I just don't think it's fair. Like I feel like he's suffering a similar fate that John Terry faced. Remember in like 2011-12 when John Terry just kept getting dusted by certain strikers, and people were saying he's finished, his legs are gone. I remember Bellamy dusted him. I remember Van Persie dusted him, and everyone wanted to be the first person to say John Terry's finished. John Terry's finished. Mourinho comes in now. He goes to Mourinho and says, I want to play 38 games in the league. He plays 38 games in the league and Chelsea win the league. And that's not to say his deficiencies weren't there anymore. It's to do with the system that he played in. He was no longer playing a high line like he was expected to do under managers like AVB. He was playing a game that was more suited to him. And I just feel like Chelsea, when we won the league with N'Golo Kante, we partnered him with Nemanja Matic. We let Matic go out the door. We brought in Bakayoko. Bakayoko had a horrible first season. Since then, he's been there with no one. Jorginho cannot do what Matic does. Neither can Kovacic. So whenever we play in the midfield battle is a struggle. Like it's disjointed. I don't think it's a Kante issue. I think it's a Chelsea midfield issue. So when people are consistently like digging out Kante, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for him, his personal slander. What do you think about that, AD?
I was going to say, yeah. Do you think that's a valid point in the sense that people's got to have a misconception of N'Golo Kante, what he is and why he is the way he is, if that makes sense? And he hit the nail on the head. At Chelsea, the best Kante was really when he had Matic next to him. At Leicester, he played in the midfield 2 with Danny Drinkwater. Do you feel like there's been this misconception that this guy is he's an elite 6 or... So do you think ultimately people have created a narrative for Kante in their heads, and when that's not coming to pass, they're just forgotten about the real things about him?
Facts, people like I remember Chelsea fans like convinced themselves that Kante was a DM on his own. I was like, well, that's not any of his most successful times have never happened in that area. The comments are vindicating me a little bit here. Pro Gray says Kante is a top player. Lucky Asaro, Kante is played in the wrong position. That's the issue, really. And I agree. Like, I feel like we've never really found like that system. We've been playing a 4-3-3. We've been playing today we played in a double 6 as Tuchel calls it. He's not the issue. He's never the issue. You build your team around Kante. That's just how I feel. Put the pieces around him. Don't tell me we're going to sell Kante and put the pieces around flipping Jorginho or a Kova. Like, I'm not with that. As much as I like those players, I'm not with that. Peter says Kante is world class. Pro Gray says Chelsea have a Rolls Royce in midfield with Audi A3s. Audi A3s are nice cars. They're not Rolls Royces. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're just not.
There's levels to it.
There's levels. There's levels to this thing. There's levels. You and I know there is levels. Iklas Elmi said, I'm not a Ziyech fan, but he was decent today. I'm kind of the opposite. I am a Ziyech fan. I don't think he was good today. Like he was taken off for Pulisic, who was just might as well have not brought on a player because Pulisic, he didn't do anything and he hasn't done anything for a long time.
He started, he does.
But I thought the beard was a good thing, you know. When the beard came through, I was like, oh, is he gonna have a new grit about him, a new hunger? Not quite. But Ziyech, when the sub came up, it was like 65th minute. when the board came up, I'm like, please take off Ziyech. He took Ziyech off. And everyone else at that moment, I felt like for Chelsea was having a really good game. Like, I didn't want to see Mount come off at that point. I didn't want to see Werner come off. So Ziyech he's just struggling to get into the game. I feel like he had another opportunity to score today. He should have scored against Man United. Today he has a shot cleared off the line. Very good, but just not. I don't think the role was for him really, because he wasn't really running in behind. And when it came, the ball wasn't getting to him enough to make the penetrative passes. The ball kept going to Mount. Peter says, yeah, what the heck is going on with Captain America? I can't figure it out, man. I can't figure it out. And I think, yeah, Captain America, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, those three players, yeah, the fact that those three players haven't performed for Chelsea have meant that we've been forced to rely on Mason Mount. And Mason Mount has been playing great to his level. He's been incredible. He's been good. But those three players being completely absent has meant our team looks completely deficient if Mason Mount misplaces a pass. Because where's Ziyech's pass? You know what I mean? Where is Pulisic's shot if Mason Mount isn't taking a shot like he takes today? Yeah. A couple more comments on Chelsea. Sorry, I'll come back to you in a sec. The way we play out from the back is beautiful. Bar City, I can't think of another team in Europe who does it better. Do you know, I feel like today we were excellent. I'm not going to say this is how we are always, because it's not always like that. I hate when it's like Rudiger and Mendy and they're knocking it about. It just fills me with all kinds of anxiety and nervousness. But wow, I'm looking at the on Sky Sports now. They're just showing the form guide of Tuchel. Literally, since he's come in January 27th, drawn three games, won all of the rest. Crazy. Yeah, what were you going to say, AD?
I was going to say, you see, with players like Pulisic, do you think it's obviously he has had his injuries this season, and we can't dismiss that. But do you think it's a mental thing as well, wherein it's like he can't necessarily deal with competition? Like I feel last season he was probably, one of your brightest shining lights. And then I think back to his time at sort of Dortmund, when obviously Sancho came in, took him out the side. And then I looked at sort of this season where he sort of got two or three who were sort of vying for that position with him. I do feel like he's one of those players where it's a mental thing. Like he can't necessarily elevate his game to that level. Because do you remember when he first came, like he was sitting on the bench, he was crying, all of these sorts of things going. Like I don't know. Did you think maybe he's just not built for it? Like he's quite a sensitive player.
No, man. I think he needed to find his feet. I think Pulisic was the perfect example of a player coming to the Premier League from a different league, and the pace and the power of it was too much for him, and he had to adjust. And then he did adjust. He scored a hat-trick against Burnley, and it was like, okay, he's arrived. Then after that, he had a series of good games where he scored and contributed to wins, and it seemed like he was okay. Then he got the injury and then came back in lockdown after that injury and said, I've arrived. Lockdown Pulisic. Just started bagging in goals, bagging in assists. And it wasn't just his finishing, it was his all-around play. We began to, like Lucky said, I miss Mia Hazard. Sorry, Mia miss a Hazard. But literally, Pulisic became our Hazard at the end of last season. And we were playing through him. We were hoping that he did something. You remember this fixture last year, we went to Anfield. I think we were, 3-0, 3-1 down or something. Bring on Pulisic. Pulisic scores 2. Yeah. And no, he didn't score 2. He scored 1 and assisted 1. And he just ran the show. He's lost all confidence. And I can't figure out why. Like, he's still got a nice little close control, but the final ball is always off the pass it. And when he's not in a game, like today, he comes on, the ball goes over his head, it bounces over, you pass it to him one time, the touch is poor, everything is just off. He needs repetition. And what made me realize it was when he played. We played an FA Cup game against Barnsley, and he was terrible. Against Barnsley. Yeah, Peter's still got faith in him. He says, my opinion, Pulisic is the best out of all of them. He's the star. Trust me. I really did think that last season. This season, I've had enough. I really have. We've lost too many games because those signings that we brought in have not performed. So
who in particular then?
I mentioned them: Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic, and Werner. Right. I didn't say Werner, but Werner as well. Like, because I can't look at the academy boys and be like, oh, you guys haven't performed. Mason Mount's been excellent. Even Ben Chilwell, who we signed, has been really good. Thiago Silva's been good. The rest of them, this is what Lampard is judged on. The 250 million that we signed, They didn't perform.
Yeah.
So there's no wonder he was sacked. The comments are begging for us to discuss one person. Kai Havertz. Caesar Sense says Havertz, discuss. Lucky says Havertz, ? Please try again next season. Pro Grey. We must discuss Havertz. I'm going to throw it to you, AD. What do you think of Kai Havertz? Did you see anything of him in the Bundesliga? And yeah, what's gone wrong for him this season?
I think first of all, what I've seen, the bits and pieces I've seen of him in the Bundesliga to what I've seen of him now, I thought it's almost as though there's a different expectation. Whereas I feel like people expected him to be like an Ozil sort of player, where he will sort of, put the ball through the eye of a needle, play the final ball, play the pass before the pass. But he's more of a Dele Alli, really.
Yes,
and I think he's struggled in that sense, wherein the expectation has been difficult for him. And also, I think my bar was on the floor for him, similar to Pulisic last year, purely because he's a young kid. He's been bought for a lot of money. Clearly, this was a guy for the future. So I just think his position is very, very niche. And I think realistically, if to play the way he wants to play players like that, you almost have to make them central to your approach. So similar to Ozil, similar to Dele Alli.
Yeah,
it's like, right, this guy played in his role. How can I get the best out of him? But it seems like what Chelsea have done, they just sort of picked 3 or 4 names that they like and said, Frank, make something happen, make it work, make it functional. Yep. And I think it's been difficult. Players like him, I've been thrown to the wayside, where it's like, I was scared for Mason, man. I thought, Mason, he had a good first year. Tammy, he had a good first year. The bigger boys are in, but it's like he hasn't even shifted Mason for his place. So it's
look, when it comes to Havertz, I think you put the nail. What's the word? You hit the nail on the head. He was signed by Chelsea because it was a player that we didn't want to let go. I think it was the idea that this guy is tipped to be a world-class talent. He's tipped to go on and play for Real Madrid and go and do these things. So we brought him into our squad without any planning, any thinking, any understanding of how this guy was going to play. And I think Frank Lampard is very, very clear. He wanted to get the best out of Mason Mount. So he liked to play 2-8 with a sitting DM, and that sitting was Kante, and then he wouldn't play Mount and Havertz. And as an 8, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. Pro Grey says in the Bundesliga, he was playing up top and he was like a big fish in a small pond. He was literally the front man. He was getting on the end of things. Like you said, Dele Alli. And I thought, wow, if Dele Alli worked, this is a player who's more technically sound than Dele Alli in terms of his passing. He's stronger. He's got more height on him, so he should be able to score more headers. Should be a threat in that direction. I was like, yes, let's bring this guy. But it was clear Lampard never wanted to build a system around him, and that's what Leverkusen was. Leverkusen was built around him. I don't think it's a coincidence that Chelsea went and got a German manager. A lot of people have spoken about that as well. Like, we got him in. Caesar Sense is saying, I need the same demands people had for Paul Pogba with this Havertz. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same. We signed a young player, man. We signed a 21-year-old. Pogba at that time was, I think, 23 when he joined United, but it was
relatively young, to be fair.
No, he's very young, very young. But I think because he'd won the league in Italy and we'd seen so much of him, people just expected him to change United's fortunes. It was 90 mil though, 90 mil. Like it was a different thing. I feel like for 4 or 5 years have gone on, the inflation has come and then we paid a little bit less. I don't feel like it's the same thing. I don't feel like it's the same thing. The energy needs to be there though. The energy of we need more from Havertz. I'm fully there for it. But let's hear what Peter's saying. Peter said, Kai is a top player in the making. Chelsea, however, bought him and didn't think about the team. Same with Ziyech, in my opinion. Both will eventually do good. Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree. Iklas Elmi said Liverpool's front three got Rudigered. I got to say, Adrian, you know what my thing's been on lately. You know, when Andreas Christensen is putting in the performances that he's putting in, he's welcoming people to the AC penitentiary. And today, Salah, Firmino, Mane, welcome to the AC penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Lewis, who coined that term. But yeah, no, AC and Rudiger locked it down. Should we do player ratings and then we'll close?
I guess so.
Right. First things
I
first.
doubt many of them will get higher than a 5, but we'll see.
First things first. We'll go for the home team. I'm just getting the players up first. We know Alisson was in goal for Liverpool. What would you rate his performance today? You know, obviously considering what he's been through recently, his mind was obviously not 100% on the game. What would you say? What would you say?
Give him an 8. You know, just for being there. It's been difficult. I think. Yeah, give him an 8. Yeah,
give him an 8. Cool. Alisson's got an 8 there. Who was your right back? Trent Alexander-Arnold, the star boy of Liverpool from last season.
Yeah. He wasn't bad. I didn't necessarily think he was particularly good either. 6.
Okay, Trent 6. Just before we move on, I want to come to a couple of these comments because they're talking on the AC Hive. Peter's still talking about Thomas Tuchel as man of the match. We hear you, Peter. We hear you. We'll get to him as well. Footy Agenda says, Oscar, don't fall for that nonsense, I beg. Brighton, West Brom, and Burnley defenders put those bums on lockdown. No, he also put Luis Suarez and Felix on lockdown in the AC penitentiary. Couldn't do not much. Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford couldn't do much. And then today we had those 3. I gotta give credit where credit is due, man. Christensen gets a lot of stick, so when he's performing, we gotta welcome people to the AC penitentiary. It's coming.
You see the thing about AC, yeah?
You're in lockdown.
I rated him up until that Barcelona game. And then it was just like, this guy has high-profile mistakes. He's got a slip in him. He's got a red card in him. But generally, up until that point, he looked good. But then after that game, his shortcomings just became a bit more apparent. It's like that this guy is not really physically good, etc. and so forth. But yeah, I think
he's made dumb mistakes, man. And the prime example was the reverse fixture of this, where he just climbs on top of Mane and gives away a penalty. And he's had head farts, you know what I mean? But I've always liked the kid. I think he should be back up for Thiago Silva. I don't think he should start. But whilst he is starting, I'm going to give him his flowers, man. He's been really, really good. How many clean sheets have we had with him at the back? Fair enough, it is a 3. It's a back 3, but still. Okay, into the defense. Kabak. What are we saying for him? Out of 10, Kabak's performance. Now he's had a few Pro Grace said AC and Lindo are Bill and Ben. No ratings. Speaking of centre backs, what are we saying for Kabak?
I didn't think it was particularly bad. I think he missed times a couple of headers like he normally does. Give him a 5, I guess.
Give him a 5. All right, Fabinho in that other centre back position.
I think that's probably his worst game at centre back. Give him a 5 as well.
So you said you didn't think Kabak was that bad. You think this is Fabinho's worst game at centre back, and he's also a 5?
No. But bear in mind, Fabinho's been very good at centre back.
Okay, cool.
This season, yeah.
Okay, Robinson?
6. I thought was the best of the lot, defensively.
That's fair. Robbo 6. Fab 5. Lucky saying Fab 5. That's a fair shout. He's saying. Fair enough. Robbo 6. Now we move into the midfield. Genie Wijnaldum. What are we thinking?
What was he playing? Genie. 5.
Genie, not Genie.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll go. Genie 5. Young boy, Curtis Jones.
I thought he started brightly. I think there was one time where he received the ball with tight pressure. It was around like 4 Chelsea players. He did a nice little. He shifted his feet, got it out. Maybe I think I've got the Liverpool tinted glasses on here. 6. I give him a 6.
I feel like there was just one opportunity where I think Salah's passed him the ball in between the 2 Chelsea centre backs, and he can't sort out his feet. The ball just muddles up and goes through, and the chance is gone. I do like the kid. I do feel like he's been thrown in the deep end. Like he's starting a lot of games for Liverpool now, and you look at players like Phil Foden, not started like Curtis Jones has started more games than him this season.
Yeah. I think he's getting a real bachelor's of a fire, and he's learning it.
Yeah,
so,
man, he's been thrown into it, and the same thing we're talking about the weakened midfield. He's not even playing with Fabinho and Henderson. You know, he's playing with Wijnaldum, who's running around. I don't know what he's on. Curtis Jones is a long ball hog who has no pace. He needs to be on loan, according to Footy Agendas. I wouldn't go that far. Your summer signing, Thiago.
I thought he was decent today. I don't know. I'll go 6. I thought it was decent today.
Okay. So you've given your midfield 2 6s and a 5. I can't help but feel like they're just lacking something. They're lacking some inventiveness there. You know what I mean?
There's no real guile, no real creativity, no real flair.
Yeah, Luscious Ira says the performance was shocking. Don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Moving up top, it's where do we even start? Sadio Mane.
4.
Missed an opportunity. Missed an
opportunity. He's not being his normal self. Like he's not beating his fullback anymore. He's been poor. It was a poor game. It was a really poor game. I don't know why Salah was taken off instead of him, for being honest.
Wow. Speaking of Salah being taken off, Mo Salah. Let's go to him next. Pro Gray said you're being very generous. Very generous.
I am.
Yeah, because let's be honest, Mane was shocking today. He was absolutely shocking.
It was bad. Yeah, you couldn't even get a 3 for being on the same bad. I think. Well, yeah. If let's say Mane was a 3, because let's just say that miss alone takes it down a notch. That miss alone takes it down a notch. I said Mo was a 5. I think Rudiger shut him down, knocked him up, but he tried. You know what I mean? I think there was a couple of decent passes where he tried to make something happen. His teammates weren't following it, and then also he was taken off prematurely as well. So yeah, give him a 5.
Yeah, Mane's been a 3. Just Caesar Sense says he's been pants all year, and he has, man. He has. It's quite sad. And Bobby Firmino.
Yeah, give him a 3 as well. Awful, diabolical, and it cost us a goal. Awful.
Wow. Would you say he cost you the goal? I mean, he lost the ball. Like it was like in your own box.
It was poor.
It was like in Chelsea's box. Sorry, when he lost it.
Yeah.
It was far away.
No, 100%. But my thing is, like, it was such an undercooked, blasé pass. It's like, I'll just kick it anywhere and hope something happens. And, we end up getting sprung on. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Chelsea boys. Edouard actually, should we talk about the substitutions? Jota came on, Milner came on. Who else made it on?
Ox as well.
Ox, yes. Ox and Jota came on at the same time. Ox has spun the block. Ox has spun the block on your.
The mention of his name just got me so angry.
Just randomly. How do you feel about those guys, just in general?
I think it was good.
Hard to judge.
It's hard to judge, but I think it was good seeing Jota again. And for me, his performances this season are the reason as to why it's. Yes, we've had injuries, but we could have coped because we were actually playing well when he was in the side, and it's only when he sort of got injured that the brown stuff hit the fan really. So good. There was a match he could have done. I guess generic 5. I guess 5 for all of them really. They come on, they try it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Ox and Milner, all 5s for them. All right, let's move on to the Chelsea boys.
What shall I read about you?
Oh yeah, if you could, that'd be great. I know them off my head pretty much, but I genuinely feel like this has been Chelsea's best performance this season, man. I think there's a lot to celebrate. First off, we'll talk about Mendy. Not much to do, not much to save. I feel like when there was opportunities for us to play out from the back, someone mentioned it in the comments, the way we played out from the back, he was there. He took the passes. There was a couple corners. That one corner he claimed and made himself look big. That's about it. He didn't really have much to do. I feel like I don't know what is 7 too high for that? Lucky's gone. Mendy 5. I think he didn't put a foot wrong. He did what he needed to do. You know. AD, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. You're muted.
I was just gonna say, to be fair, he had very little to do with it. Like, we offered nothing by way of attacking threat. I think we literally had one shot on target the whole game, and it was a table down.
I feel like 5 is harsh, considering we've given Thiago and Curtis Jones 6s. 5 is very, very harsh. Progress says Mendy needs to hold a 6. I can work with that. He did what he had to do.
I think 6 is like decent. Yeah, it's like, yours are
okay, we'll go to the. How we'll do it. We'll talk about we'll go from right wing all the way up to left wing back. So we'll start with Reece James. I thought he was okay. I thought when he was called to do defensive work, he came back. He didn't allow Robertson to create anything really. He was there. I think Reece could get a 7.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Also, I like he's got good S-housery. So there was a time where
brilliant.
The ball's gone off. I think Robertson sort of chasing him down. You sort of exchanging words with him, and then he just throws the ball away. Obviously, the moment I'm pissed off, but then I just had to approve the cunning. He's
got the dark arts. There was a moment in a game we had a game that's in the league, and I think we had a throw in late on, and I think it was like the players are trying to get him to take the throw, so they're throwing the ball at him. He just lets the ball hit him. Have you seen that clip? It went around Twitter. He just lets the ball hit him, and he's just wasting time so nonchalantly. Like I got so much love for Reece James. I don't think today was his best game, but yeah, man, he did what he needed to do. I'm going for a 7. Lucky's gone and said 6. I'll say 7. Moving into the centre backs, Cesar Azpilicueta. I feel like he filled me with a bit of fear today. I don't think he was that good. I feel like in opportunities when it came to the ball at feet and passing the ball, he fills me with fear more than a Christensen or a Reece James on that side. So I'm going to give him a 5. What do you think? Am I being harsh?
In fairness, yeah, I felt like it was like a Mendy thing. Really, I think he did what he had to do well. Like we didn't necessarily attack down his sides. Comfortable, really.
Comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable.
What, 5 or 6? What are you saying? Lucky said 7. I don't know if he's talking about Aspie there.
I'll probably go 6. I think 6 is just you were good. You know, I'd go 6.
Peter said harsh. Aspie led the defense. He said Aspie is stable. Fair enough. He's saying 7. I'm going to go 6. I'm going to go 6. Progress said he was better than Fab, so he needs more than a 5. I've gone 6 for Aspie.
Yeah. 5 is ridiculous. Yeah, 5 is.
In terms of Andreas Christensen, I'm going to go for a 9.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking 8.
I don't think anyone was a 10 in this game, but like I said before, I think he was our best player. I think he was awesome. I think he covered out everything. There was a couple of times he took the ball out and came into midfield and started playing comfortable on the ball. Lucky's gone for an 8. I've gone for a 9 for him. I thought he was excellent. Speaking of dark arts, talking about Reece James and how he was just doing the most off the ball. What do you think about Antonio Rudiger's dark arts?
Well, what when he pushed Mane and then Kovacic blasted the ball in his face?
Yeah. The whole game, bruv. He's giving you aggro. Oh, Peter said 7.5 for ACP. Are you killing me here? You're killing me. We just inducted the top goal scorer of the Premier League into the AC penitentiary. And you're telling me 7.5? Come on, man. It's got to be a 9 for AC. It's got to be a 9. Rudy, what are we saying? Rudiger.
Yeah, he likes the Donny. He likes he's up for a fight. He's up for a fight. He talks a lot. Yeah.
He's the same against.
I feel it's good. I personally would have probably given him the same score as Christensen. So I would have given him both for 8. So
yeah, 8. I think 8 is fair. I think 8 goes for me. On the left-hand side, we had Ben Chilwell. Now, Chilwell, he went through a horrible bit of form under the end of Frank Lampard's time. Terrible against Leicester, terrible against Arsenal, terrible in a lot of games there. And once Tuchel came in, hasn't really been in the side. We've seen Alonso in there, man. So a lot of talk has been made about his ability to play in this wing back role. Can he do it? I don't see why not. I don't think he's a great defender. I think his best attribute is him on the ball. He's comfortable on the ball. He can drive past the fullback, as he did a lot in the second half. I think Chilwell will get a 7 for me. What about you?
Yeah, 7. Yeah. It was good. I think also there's a couple of times he played a couple of nice balls for Werner to actually run onto as well. So using his tech. Yeah.
Man.
And then Salah,
I'm going to say 7. Progress made up a very good point. He said Aspie needs to go up 1 then. You man are doing him better. To be honest, if we've given Rudiger an 8, Christensen a 9, Chilwell a 7, Aspie is languishing on a 6. It is very disrespectful. 6. It is very... I put 6. It is very disrespectful to Aspie, the captain. I know. Sorry, guys. It's my first time.
I give him a 7 to be fair.
It's my first time doing a player rating, so I've never had to assess it against each other like that. Normally, I just assess the person on their own. But anyway, let's move into the midfield. Let's talk about another polarizing figure, Mr. J5, Jorginho. How do you feel like he matched up against your midfielders? I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was solid. What did you say?
I'll be honest. I didn't really notice him, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I thought like obviously like he didn't lose the ball, like he did the things that he does normally, like he passed it well. But I'd probably go 6 if I'm being honest. I thought it was all right. What do you think?
Amongst Chelsea fans, we often talk about Jorginho's lack of ball progression. So he gets the ball, he keeps things ticking, he passes sideways. He very rarely goes forward, and I think that was a big worry for our team. When the team came out, because it was like, if you've got Kante and Jorginho, who's going to push the ball forward from midfield? They both play sideways. You know what I mean? But that Burner goal that was disallowed, it was actually a Jorginho through ball. He was trying to do, he has that ball in his game. I remember that goal Tammy Abraham scored against Watford, where he just plays it over the top, and Tammy scored a great one last season. He has that ball, but he just rarely plays it. Today, Werner was on his running thing, and Jorginho said, I'm going to try find you a couple times. So I'm going to say J57. What are you saying?
I went for a 6, but I think you make an interesting point. I feel like he only plays the ball if it's a guarantee. I feel like he loves ball retention. He hates losing the ball.
Loves it. I
feel like if he's going to play a ball over the top, it's going to the man's feet, because I think he knows
he's a Sarista. You know what I mean? He's a Sarista. He loves that ball. That ball retention. N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, it was good. It was really, really good.
Yeah, brilliant. I'd say 7 as well. I think him and Jorginho were very, very tidy. Peter's laughing at your ball retention comment, but it's 100% true, man. He loves it. Jorginho, Kante, both 7?
Huh?
Or did Kante do enough to get an 8? Or are we saying he's both a 7?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's 7. I think 7's fair. I think there was a couple of times where Curtis Jones sort of tried to break, tried to bring away. Kante just drags him back and said, "Where do you think you're going, son?" Yeah, I think it was good. And I think as well, one thing I've done, like when I've sort of had players like Jordan Henderson, play for my club, I look at players for unique spheres, and I understand what a player can do and what a player can't do. So for me, if Kante isn't necessarily progressing the ball well, or playing penetrative passes or breaking lines, but he's doing what he actually is good at, and that's winning the ball, then I'm happy with that. And for me, he's played well, so he did what he does well. So
yeah. Excellent assist. Excellent assist. I think that might bump him up to a 7.5 for me. But are we doing 0.5s, or should we just be solid numbers?
I mean, if it's a 0.5, might as well round it up to 8. Huh?
Okay. I just feel like sometimes the passes weren't always A1. Like the criticism that was, somebody made a comment about it in the beginning. I felt that way about Kante, but as you say, excellent assist. And him and Jorginho together dominated the midfield. So I guess we'll round it up to 8, as you say. No 0.5s around here. Let's go for the front three. Let's go Hakim Ziyech. This is a weird one. I don't think Ziyech was good today. I don't.
He was on par with a Liverpool player, to be fair.
Yeah. I feel like I'd happily give him a 6. I feel like in the first half he was definitely better. He posed a threat, so Liverpool were aware of him and were doing the most around him. But I don't feel like he impacted the game. I feel like when he truly can impact the game, he's going to create chances. He's done it before for Chelsea. He didn't do that today. So I'm going to go 6.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think when he's confident, when he's fit, when he's firing, I think he'll be good. I think he tried to do his trademark where he shifts it. Obviously, he's on the right, shifts it to the left, but the ball was just over here ever so slightly. But man. He's techie, man.
He's techie. He's techie. He'll figure it out, man. He'll figure it out. I've got confidence in him coming good, but I just think Ziyech coming good is so much better than what we saw today. I feel like his level is he's got so much. So much to go. So Ziyech's got a 6. Money, Mason, Mount, Frank Lampard's son, the Prince of the King's Road, Mr. Mason. Yeah, what are you saying? What are you saying for him? I thought he was excellent today.
8. Yeah, 8.
8 up there with Kante, but not quite. You don't think he was up there with Christensen?
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards a 9 just because I think he was better than Kante today. I felt like going forward, he was just so alive. Like he was pressing very well as he always does. But then when he won the ball, he's becoming such a tidy player with his feet, man. He will just pass it and do close control. I think he's been training with Pulisic. I'm gonna go Mount 9. What are you thinking?
Fair enough. Berneman, I think I give Christensen an 8. I didn't give him a 9. So yeah, according to my metrics, we're doing the same, innit?
Yeah, so, fair enough. That's fair. And then lastly, up top for Chelsea, the lone striker today was, a man who's come into so much criticism this season. He's played well sometimes, he's played poor sometimes. Timo Werner started up front, was given the go-ahead because of Liverpool's high line. And I feel like he did what he's always been doing in a Chelsea shirt, running off the last shoulder, begging his midfielders to play him a ball in. Today, they did that. And he had chances and he scored one of them and he was just given offside. I thought he was really good today. I'd go to an 8. What are you saying?
I would have gone 7 personally. Yeah, I think
7.
I think so. You see Thiago's debut, ironically against Chelsea. You know the situation where I think we were 1-0 up, playing against 10 men. It's like he died and got to heaven. That is the perfect situation to see the best from Thiago. I think similarly here, bro, Werner was licking his chops. He was feasting. He was like, your line is this high, boy. I mean, so yeah. So I think this was a perfect situation.
Progress said 7. Peter on Paul saying 7.5. Lucky is saying he should have scored. Other than the one he actually did score, was there an opportunity where you felt like Werner should have scored? I felt like he had that amazing shot where he's touched it and spun. I didn't feel like it was like, I looked at him like you should have scored there. The other opportunity was a ball that Mason Mount played to him. And then there
was a couple actually.
He had chances, but none of them where I'm looking at you like, Werner, you missed the goal that you should have scored.
But he could have. I think he could have, and I think if he was confident, he would have. If that makes sense.
All right, I'm going to say 8 for that. There's a couple of 7.5s in here. I'm going to round that up to 8. What are you thinking?
7. I've got 7.
All right, cool. I'll bring it back down to size. 7 for Timo Werner. All right. Yeah. Have we got any more? Anything else you want to mention on this game?
I think it's just sad. It's not a year, but it's just sad how different things could be when you reverse a fixture. This time last game, I couldn't wait for the game to end because I was going to lift the Premier League trophy. And now, I don't know if I'm going to get top 4 or not.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
you couldn't make it up, bro. It's like I think you guys scored 2. I couldn't give a damn. I was ready. I was ready to see Henderson do the shuffle, but yeah, I think it just goes to show. And I think the commentator made a very, very good point. This was a 6-pointer for us, and we blew it. Like we could have been in the top 4, and we blew it.
And what's crazy is you mentioned that game from last season. That though we lost 5-3, that's still one of my favorite games of the season. Like, it was incredible to watch. But today, this is one of my favorite games of the season because we actually played well, like crazy. So Lucky has gone for a manager score as well. He's gone for Tuchel 9.5. Yeah, spot on. Peter's been saying it all all stream. He's been doing man of the match, Tuchel. So yeah, man, Tuchel a definite 9, pushing on 10. Game plan to a T, and left there with 3 points. It's now 5 defeats in a row at Anfield. But in fact, not even at Anfield, the place that you coined the slaughterhouse, it's now been 5 defeats in a row. It's mad.
Food standard shut it down. It was a sweatshop. It was illegal.
This came a lot of saying Arsenal 6 points behind Paul with a game in hand. Klopp 0.0. What do you think about Klopp?
I could give him a 3. I could give him a 3. Yeah, I'd give him a 3 because I think, you know, we knew like it was like even Stephen Wonder could see if Timo Werner's playing. If Timo Werner's playing, you know the ball that they're going to feast on. And Kabak and Fabinho, they're not the fastest, so you already knew that there was that. He's done silly things like taking off Salah was bizarre. You know, like this incessant need he has to bring on Milner when we're chasing the goal. Yeah, like
you make good points. You make good points. I think the fact that you brought up Stevie Wonder was extremely unnecessary, but you make great points. Peter on Paul said yes, pro grey, Arsenal. A 3 is the rating you get for turning up. He's saying he should be less than a 3.
Well, didn't even turn up. Well, it's an X.
Oh yeah, no, actually, he did. He arrived. He arrived.
I mean, in the spirit, like, he was there in person, I guess.
Sadio and Firmino must be running low on hugs. Klopp will come through, believe. Wow. Yeah, he didn't run onto the pitch and hug anyone today. Yeah. Have you got anything more to add, Adrian?
I'm sad, bro, man. 5.
Horrible. Let me run through the other fixtures that have gone on just to see if there's anything of note. Reminder, guys, we will be back Monday, 8 p.m. The full cast will be here for another episode of the Top 4 podcast. So, yeah, don't forget to tune in then as well. But just going through what happened this week, Manchester City 4, Wolves 1. They're just running away with the title, slapping it up. Goals from Jesus. Gundogan got 1. And, yeah. Like what? Oh, sorry, Gundogan didn't get a goal. My bad. He got an assist. Mahrez got 1. Yeah, City are done, right?
Yeah. Title's been over. To be fair, yeah.
Title's wrapped.
Congratulations. We just got to go again next season. But one thing I'm wary of, though, yeah, I just don't think Big Virgil is going to come back the same. Like it's going to be a 6.5. But that recovery pace is going to be shot to. Like it's little things like the recovery pace, his ability to lead, like a bit of his strength. Like it's just not gonna be the same again. You can't. You know what I mean?
David says, "Dry your eyes, mate." The problem is that the next line of that song, "Dry your eyes, mate," and then he goes, "There's plenty more fish in the sea." When it comes to centre backs, there's not plenty more fish in the sea. Virgil van Dijk is one of a kind, so you have to hope he does come back. A talking point that was big in our WhatsApp group chat: Burnley 1, Leicester 1. Are Leicester choking again, Adrian?
Yeah. No two ways about it. For me, I'm always and it's similar to the stick I hit Liverpool with. I look at that lineup and I say that lineup on paper that you produced on that particular day, was it good enough to win that particular game? Yes, that lineup Leicester had, in my opinion. No Madison, no X, no Y, no Z. But for me, it was good enough to beat that Burnley team on paper, and the fact that they didn't, they're choking on at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tie it up and blow it up. You know what I mean?
Horrible. Horrible. Sheffield United 1, Aston Villa 0. Big win at the bottom of the table. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Oh, sorry. Just got this from it. When we're talking about Leicester, Peter obviously said David Brent at it again. We'll dive into Leicester properly on Monday's show. But Sheffield United beat Aston Villa. How crazy is that? Like, literally, take Grealish out the side. Villa looked like a completely different side. 10 men Sheffield United had for majority of that second half, and they managed to see it out. Chris Wilder must be buzzing with that, man.
Yeah. It's sad because it's too little too late. Like, they go down regardless. For me personally, I like them. I just hope they go down swinging because what were they? I did 12 points away from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's over. You know what I mean? It's over.
It's far. It's far. It's not. I don't think it's 12 points, but it's far. Palace, Manchester United. Now, a big factor in the top four race today was the fact that Leicester and Man United both drew games in midweek, so there was an opportunity for Chelsea or Liverpool to step up, and Chelsea did that. Palace United. It was a nothing game. I heard. I didn't get to watch it, but it was 0-0. Not much in the way of chances. The biggest highlight from the game was Marcus Rashford shouting at Maguire because he was offside. A bit more of the Ollie ball, it seems. Nothing else going on.
Yeah, man. It's just when there's no Pogba, there's no party. Essentially, like McTominay Fred it's horrendous. It's absolutely horrible football.
It's horrendous. We'll move swiftly on because I'm sure on Monday, Sunday is the big fixture, Manchester City versus Man United. So on Monday, we'll spend a lot of time diving into that. Fulham 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Tottenham again played quite poorly today, I think. Didn't score goals, it wasn't flowing in the second half for them as it was in the first. And Fulham, very, very, very unlucky not to have a goal scored. Josh Maja put the ball in the net after a handball that was mad dubious. Mad dubious. Unlucky for Fulham again, man. What do you think of Jose? 2 wins on the bounce now.
Yeah, I mean, by hook or by crook, he's pulling out the bag. Bell was sort of involved in the build-up of the goal. So I think for me, if they could get Bell operating, even at 70% of the level he was sort of 7-8 years ago, that could be a game changer for them. You know what I mean? So I think Tottenham, by hook or by crook, getting it over the line. And for me, if I was a Spurs fan, we're in the Carabao Cup final, we're still deep in the Europa League, win something. I'd try to anyway. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. PSS first half, Spurs were brilliant. I told you guys on the pod last week to put Harry Kane in your fantasy team. So I put Kane in. I captained him. I watched this guy miss like 3 chances today that he would normally score. I was so annoyed. Peter also says, doesn't make sense why Bale hasn't started all this time. Bale was decent today as well. I think he had to find his feet because there were some games I saw him early on in the season where he was rubbed. He was not the Gareth Bale. But now he's looking sharper. He's looking better. And lastly, West Brom versus Everton. Everton won that game 1-0. They were in the top 4 before our game kicked off. So Carlo's not out of this top 4 race. You know what I mean? Carlo's not out of it.
And I believe he's got a game in hand as well.
Yeah. Something crazy. But thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you like the video. Please subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. We're going to be doing much more content throughout the weeks now, as well as on Monday, 8 p.m. pod. Look out for the European football show as well, hosted by Robin. But I'm very, very happy. I'm delighted. My boys are in the top 4 right now because of a fantastic victory at Anfield, and it's all thanks to Mason Mount. Adrian, any last words?
I got 5 on it.
All right. Have a wonderful evening, people.